Before we begin, please imagine the bell notification is on and you're subscribed to Huna Stories. I didn't plan the trip to make a point. It wasn't a statement about independence or success or any of those things people say when they hear someone booked a luxury vacation alone. It was just the first time in years I had the time and the money at the same moment, a quiet window, so I booked it. 10 days, a coastal resort, a flight that left at sunrise. Nothing dramatic, just comfortable enough that I wouldn't spend the whole time thinking about work. I mentioned it to my family the way people casually mention things over dinner. That was my first mistake. At first, the conversation was normal curiosity. Where was it? Was the hotel nice? Did they have those big balconies facing the water? I answered half amused. It felt harmless. But families have a strange way of slowly stepping into things that were never meant for them. The questions turned into suggestions. Maybe we should all go sometime then. Into soft assumptions. That place sounds perfect for a family trip. I didn't correct them because technically we could go together someday. I just hadn't invited anyone this time. Then my sister started dating someone new, Daniel. He showed up to 2 family dinners and spoke with the kind of confidence people mistake for belonging. He was friendly enough, but he had that habit of treating every conversation like he'd already been part of it for years. The vacation came up one night while we were sitting around the kitchen table. My sister said casually, "Maybe Daniel could come too." I laughed a little because I assumed she was joking. I'd already booked everything. But the conversation didn't stop. My mom said, "Well, maybe there is still time to change it." Daniel leaned back in his chair like he was analyzing a business proposal. You could always adjust the reservation. The strange part wasn't the suggestion, it was how calmly everyone spoke about it, as if the trip had quietly become a shared project that simply needed a small modification. I tried to explain. Flights were booked, the room was reserved under my name. Everything was already paid for. That should have ended the discussion. Instead, it evolved. My sister said, "You travel alone all the time anyway." My dad added, "You're flexible." And then Daniel said something that shifted the air in the room. "You could just catch the next one with us later." Not said rudely, just logically, like he was helping solve a problem. The silence that followed told me something uncomfortable. They weren't joking. They were waiting for me to agree. It's strange how quickly your role in a room can change. One moment you're the person who planned something, the next you're the obstacle preventing everyone else from enjoying it. I didn't argue, I just said I'd think about it. That night, I sat at my laptop and opened the travel confirmations, flight itinerary, hotel reservation, airport transfer, every detail neatly organized in my inbox. For a long time, I just stared at the screen. Not angry, not even particularly upset, mostly puzzled. How had a trip I paid for become something I was expected to step away from? Eventually, I opened the airline website. Cancellation policy, refundable. The hotel, refundable within 48 hours. It took maybe 10 minutes, one cancellation after another. Each confirmation email landed quietly in my inbox. Refund pending, refund pending, refund pending. The next day felt strangely peaceful. 2 days later, my sister called. She sounded cheerful at first. "Hey, Daniel needs the flight time so he can request the days off." I leaned against the kitchen counter while she talked. I canceled everything. There was a pause so long I checked my phone to make sure the call hadn't dropped. "You what?" "I canceled the trip." Her voice rose, not angry, confused. "Why would you do that?" I didn't answer immediately because the real answer sounded too blunt. Instead, I said it didn't make sense anymore. Within an hour, my phone started buzzing with calls. My mom, my dad, my sister again. They all used slightly different language, but the meaning was the same. Could I rebook it? Could I fix the situation? My sister sounded genuinely stressed. We already told people we were going. Daniel apparently had started planning things around the trip. Everyone spoke like a project had suddenly collapsed. What struck me most was what no one asked. No one asked why I had canceled. Eventually, my father said something that revealed the whole misunderstanding. "You need to sort this out." Need. That word hung in the air between us. I said something simple. "I can't." "Why not?" "Because everything was booked under my name." The line went quiet. It wasn't an emotional realization for them, it was practical. Airlines don't negotiate with people who didn't buy the ticket. Hotels don't restore reservations that no longer exist. The authority wasn't mine as a person, it was mine as the purchaser. Administrative control is a strange kind of power, invisible until the moment it matters. The conversation ended without yelling, just a slow deflation of expectations. For a few weeks, things were awkward. My sister told people the trip fell through. Daniel stopped bringing it up entirely. Eventually, the story became a family misunderstanding no one wanted to revisit. 3 months later, I booked another vacation, not nearly as elaborate, a quiet place by the mountains. I didn't mention it until the day before I left. My mom asked where I was going. I told her, she nodded. That was the whole conversation. Something had shifted, not dramatically, but noticeably. My plans were no longer treated as group property. No speeches were made, no apologies offered, just a quiet adjustment in how people approached me. And sometimes I still think about that first trip, the one that never happened. People like to imagine karma as something loud, arguments, dramatic payback, humiliation. But the real lesson wasn't anything like that. It was a cancellation notice, a few refund emails, and the moment an entire room realized the person they had quietly removed from the story was the only one who had the power to write it.